The Great Escape, How Keir Starmer Mastered the Art of Political Dodging. Right. So, picture this. You promise your mate you'll finally clean your room by the end of May. May comes and goes. Your room still looks like a tornado hit a charity shop. You mumble, sorry, and shuffle away. Now, imagine that room is actually a massive government review about one of the most serious issues facing Britain today, and you're the Prime Minister. Welcome back to UK Plug. I'm your host, and today we're talking about Keir Starmer's absolutely masterful disappearing act. But first, let's rewind to when this whole mess started brewing. Labour made a promise, one of those proper political promises where they look us straight in the eye and swear the Casey Rape Gang's review will be completed and published by the end of May. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And when I say it wasn't, I mean it vanished faster than a Tory MP's principles during expenses season. Jess Phillips eventually crawled out 2 weeks ago with an apology that had all the sincerity of a used car salesman assuring you this particular banger's only ever been driven by a little old lady to church on Sundays. But hang on, because it gets spicier. Apparently, nothing says we got this under control quite like heated cabinet discussions, last-minute leaks, and drama worthy of EastEnders. The publication date of the review has been bouncing around like a ping-pong ball in a hurricane. Originally slated for Wednesday afternoon, because nothing says transparency like dropping bombshell reports when everyone's thinking about their weekend plans. It's now been shoved forward to Monday. And what's this report going to recommend? Oh, just a little thing called a statutory national inquiry into rape gangs. You know, the sort that makes headlines, demands answers, and generally requires a person in charge to, oh, I don't know, be present. Here's where your jaw hits the floor. Our dear Prime Minister has suddenly discovered an urgent need to become a frequent flyer. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Keir Starmer, part-time Prime Minister, full-time escape artist. Let's lay out a timeline that would make even Houdini jealous. There's a G7 summit in Alberta, Canada, running from June 15th to 17th. That's Saturday to Monday. For those keeping track at home, the official events wrap up on Tuesday. Any reasonable person might think, right, summit ends Tuesday. Fly back Tuesday night. Be ready for PMQs Wednesday. But apparently, Starmer is operating on a different kind of logic, the kind that suggests the best time to address serious allegations about government cover-ups is never. This man is set to miss Prime Minister's questions for the first time in weeks. Not because of some extended diplomatic crisis. Not because Alberta is so lovely he simply can't bear to leave. No, he's missing it because apparently facing scrutiny over one of the most sensitive issues in British politics is less appealing than, what exactly? Extended maple syrup tasting sessions? And this is where the whole thing stops being funny and starts being properly outrageous. Because let's call this what it is. This isn't just poor timing. This is political cowardice dressed up as diplomatic duty. We're talking about a review that Labour themselves promised, delayed, and are now releasing while their leader conveniently books a political equivalent of a long weekend in Blackpool. The optics here are disastrous. You've got a government that campaigned on transparency, promised swift action, botched the timeline completely, and now their leader's pulling the classic, sorry, can't talk right now, I'm washing my hair in Canada. It's like promising your partner you'll finally discuss that serious relationship issue, then suddenly remembering you've got a very important dentist appointment in another country for a week. Here's what should worry us all. This isn't just about one missed PMQs or one delayed report. This is about establishing a pattern of behavior where accountability becomes optional when it's inconvenient, where serious issues affecting real people get shuffled around based on political expediency rather than moral imperative. When you promise something as significant as a case review, when you delay it beyond your own deadline, when you try to bury it with timing games, and finally, when you literally leave the country to avoid answering questions about it, you're not just failing as a politician. You're failing the people who trusted you to do better than the last lot. And let's be brutally honest, if this were Boris Johnson pulling this stunt, Labour would be in meltdown. They'd be demanding resignations, calling it a disgrace, and questioning how he dares show such contempt for Parliament and the public. So here's your homework. Don't let this slide. When Starmer eventually returns from his tactical retreat, when he finally faces questions about this whole debacle, remember exactly how this played out. When push came to shove, he chose convenience over courage. Share this article if you think more people need to know about Starmer's great escape. Think this is just bad timing, or see something more calculated? Drop a comment below. At UK Plug, we believe holding our leaders accountable isn't just our job, it's our responsibility. Whether they're in Downing Street or dodging questions in Alberta, we'll be here, keeping track. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with Starmer back on British soil and ready to answer some proper questions. Until then, keep watching, keep questioning, and keep demanding better.